Hey everyone, in this video we'll learn how to solve absolute value inequalities. So let's start with an example. Let's say we had the absolute value of 3x plus 2 is greater than or equal to 5. Okay, so very similar to any inequality, we want to solve for our variable x, and also very similar to absolute value equations. What we want to do here is we want to first, we have this absolute value expression here isolated on one side of the inequality. It's already isolated for us. And now that we have it isolated, we can go ahead and split this up into two separate inequalities, two separate problems. So we can go ahead and split this up into 3x plus 2 is greater than or equal to 5. And we can also split this up into 3x plus 2 is, and then what you're going to do is you're going to flip the inequality. So you're going to flip it from a greater than or equal to a less than or equal to. This is less than or equal to negative 5. So negative 5. So very similar to an equation. Just as a reminder, you have the absolute value of x equals a. You split it up into x equals a and x equals negative a. Inequalities are very similar. The only difference is that in this negative piece right here, you have to flip the inequality. So if it was a greater than or equal to before, you're going to flip it to a less than or equal to. And let's go ahead and solve each inequality on its own, starting with the one on the left. So we have this plus 2 right here, so let's subtract 2 from both sides. We are left with 3x is greater than or equal to 5 minus 2, which is 3. And then we can go ahead and divide both sides by 3. We are left with x is greater than or equal to 3 divided by 3, which is 1. So x is greater than or equal to 1. And let's do the same thing with this inequality. Let's solve for x. So we have this plus 2. We will subtract 2 from both sides. We are left with 3x is less than or equal to negative 5 minus negative 2 is negative 7. And then we'll divide both sides by 3 to finally isolate that x. So we have x is less than or equal to negative 7/3. Okay, so we have x is greater than or equal to 1 right here. And we have x is less than or equal to negative 7/3 right here. So let's represent this on a number line. So let's draw our number line. And in the middle we'll put 0. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. On the other side we'll go negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4. And we'll go ahead and plot each one. So let's start with this one right here. X is greater than or equal to 1. So our first step is to find 1. There it is. And we're going to draw a circle above it. Now, is it going to be an open circle or a closed circle? Well, we have an or equal to bar under it, so the circle is going to be closed. And which way are we going, to the left or to the right? So x is greater than or equal to 1. The greater numbers are to the right. So we're going to point an arrow to the right. Okay, so that piece is done. And then we have this piece right here. X is less than or equal to negative 7/3. So negative 7/3, where does it fall on the number line? If you put it in your calculator, it's negative 2.3 roughly, right around here. Negative 7/3 is right around here. Or if you think about it, negative 6/3, right? Negative 6/3 is negative 6 divided by 3 is negative 2. So you know it's negative 2 and then some. So negative 6/3 is negative 2. So that means negative 7/3 is a little bit after negative 2. So negative 2.3 roughly. So negative 7/3 right there in the blue. So let's draw a circle above it. Is it going to be open or closed? Well, there is an or equal to bar, so it'll be closed. Okay, and then x is less than or equal to, so the lesser numbers are to the left. So we'll point an arrow to the left right here. And that is how we represent our solution set to the original inequality that we started with on a number line. So let's go ahead and represent this with interval notation. Okay, so interval notation, what is the lowest number on our solution set? So looking at our green arrows, what is the leftmost number? So let's start with this green arrow first. Let's do one by one. This green arrow, what is the leftmost number? Well, it goes all the way to negative infinity if we go all the way to the left. That's what this arrow means. It goes into the left direction infinitely. So negative infinity is the leftmost number for this arrow. Okay, now for this arrow, what is the rightmost number? So if I follow this arrow all the way to the right, I will stop right here at negative 7/3. So negative 7/3. Great, and are we going to use parentheses or brackets? So for negative infinity or any infinity, you always use a parentheses, okay? And then negative 7/3, well, that depends. Is our circle open or closed? Are we including negative 7/3? Our circle is closed, so we are including it. So that means we will use a bracket. Okay, so this is interval notation for the first green arrow right here. Now, what about this green arrow over here? So what is the leftmost value on this green arrow? If you go all the way to the left on this arrow, it's this 1 right here. So we will write a 1. And then what is the rightmost value on this green arrow? If you go all the way to the right, well, it goes all the way to infinity on the right side. So it goes all the way to infinity. And now are we going to use brackets or parentheses? Well, we have an infinity, so we'll use a parentheses. And this for this 1, well, the 1 is included because our circle on the number line is closed. So we will use a bracket for the 1. Great, so one more thing. We are going to connect these two interval notations because both of them are included in our solution set. We are going to use this really large U symbol. This means or. So or. So what this means is our solution set is between negative infinity and negative 7/3, or it's between 1 and infinity. So that is how we write down our solution set using interval notation. So that's how you solve absolute value inequalities. I hope this video helps, and if you have any questions at all, please leave them down in the comments below, and thank you for watching.